Okay, almost 12:01, so I'm going to get started. Welcome, everyone. 15 minutes of positivity. It's Thursday, so Thankfulness Thursday. So today's theme is gratitude. And yeah, actually, I think everyone on this call has been here before, but just a quick reminder. So the purpose of this is to get together and just carve out a few minutes of our busy day where we activate those parts of our nervous system that allow us to feel these desired states. And today's gratitude. Monday we do mindfulness, attention training on Tuesdays. Yesterday I focused on pessimism, and those of you that have been doing this for a while now realize that really I just kind of show up with whatever's up for me. Right? There's sort of this endless stream of things to talk about or explore. And yesterday, admittedly, I was just noticing that there's this. I was just in this mental grind, and my mood, my attitude, all of it was just a little bit pessimistic. And so I thought, okay, well, what's going on there? I thought I'd cover some things about pessimism. Today, the theme of gratitude for me is noticing. I don't know where this came from or why this happened, but there's this overwhelming sense that I woke up with this morning where I was just thinking, you know, things could be a whole lot worse, Ollie. Like there's a lot of stuff going on planet Earth. There are literally billions of people that would, in a heartbeat, trade their life situation with yours. And so it's not a way of trying to diminish my experience or my struggle with, maybe feeling down or feeling somewhat negative, but it is a good sanity check. And, I think of that process as being, using gratitude as a doorway to positivity in the present moment. So gratitude for what? I hope this isn't too much of a downer, but again, this is just what was up for me this morning. Realizing, thinking about this is the reality for these young men in the Ukraine right now. This is what they do day in, day out. It's dirty. It's scary. It's violent. It's a pretty horrendous situation. Here's the reality for lots of people in Gaza in this moment. Same thing, violent, dirty, scary, very, very unsettling. This is what's going on in North Korea. This is what's going on in the streets of many of our big cities, San Francisco certainly included. And again, it's not, my intention here is not to focus in on this as some kind of making things heavy, but it is a good sanity check at times to take a step back and say, okay, the stuff that my mind is spinning on, the stuff that I'm worried about, that's stressing me out, how important is it? How, can I calibrate with reality to some extent and use that as this, what I call this doorway into the present moment, and realizing right here, right now, we're on this call. Presumably none of us are being threatened by mortar fire or starvation, or not to diminish the problems that we all struggle with, but there's sort of a reality check there too. So quick reminder, what is gratitude? Here's a definition. So gratitude is the embodied experience that accompanies the awareness that we have benefited from someone or something through no doing of our own. So embodied, I've highlighted certain words here. Embodied experience is, this is not an intellectual exercise. We don't just sit there and say, oh yeah, I'm checking the boxes. I should feel grateful for this, that, or the other thing. But it's actually dropping in and saying, let me see if I can actually feel the gratitude in my body. I'm pointing to this part of my body because I feel gratitude in my chest and my belly. And it accompanies, it requires a kind of awareness in the present moment, right? This is not something that you just, again, passively consume, but it's really being present for, oh my gosh, right here, right now, I'm very aware of the fact that I am lucky and through no fault of my own. I haven't done anything to deserve the fact that I happen to live in Northern California and that I'm not a 20-something-year-old who just got drafted into the military in Ukraine or Russia for that matter. It just happened. And so big part of gratitude is realizing the sense of, I haven't done anything really to deserve this, and yet I'm benefiting from it. So that's my goal for today, is to see if we can access some of that energy. And so the invitation is to really see if you can feel it in your body. Sometimes it helps to actually put your hand on your over your heart or your chest. There's all kinds of neurologic reasons why that works. You can also do it on your cheek, but the idea is to make contact with your body. So let's go ahead and try that. Start by closing our eyes. And as always, we start these mini meditations with dropping into the present moment and accessing this awareness of what's happening right here, right now. So everything that's happened this morning is done. Everything that we're anticipating is going to happen this afternoon has not yet happened. So we're left with this beautiful simplicity of just right here, right now, noticing the body breathing, noticing the mind thinking, remembering, anticipating, just taking a break and just taking a step back, saying, I don't actually need to engage with that. I don't need to do anything about it. And then noticing, we're sitting here together on this call, we're either sitting or laying down or standing. Very simple. Let's begin by connecting with some appreciation for the fact that we get to choose to do this right now. We all have electricity, we have internet connections. For some reason, we are graced with the fact that we can get together and spend just a few minutes today being, feeling grateful. And that's real. That's happening right now. And I showed you some images. The truth is, the internet is full of images like that. But just imagine the billions of other humans on planet Earth in this moment who would wish to be able to trade their life circumstance for ours, to be able to spend this time in peace, in community, reflecting on what we have. There are many people that can't do this, not because they don't want to, but because they literally can't, physically, technologically, emotionally. And if all that we have in this present moment is this sense of presence and peacefulness, the absence of violence, fear, a lot. It's a lot to feel gratitude for. Just reflecting on the physical circumstance that you find yourself in right now, shelter, home, maybe some of the people in your life that are supportive and kind to you. And even simpler than that is just noticing maybe the absence of people that are mean and cruel and violent. And when I look at some of those pictures of Gaza or these cities in the Ukraine that have just been absolutely devastated, they're not safe. Everyone's left. There's no shelter. There's no power. There's no water. And just for a moment, just for a few seconds today, just connecting with the fact that we have that. For the most part, we have that right now. All of the things that need to happen in order for that to be there for us, the energy and the time spent by people with expertise and building buildings and manufacturing things and sewage pipes and power lines, and it all comes together so that we can be on this call right here, right now, in this present moment. It's an invitation, now thinking into the future, maybe for the rest of the day, to see if you can drop into a state of mind or a place where you just ask yourself, what would it take for me to get to a place where I'd be in a situation that I would trade in order to have the experience that I'm having right now? I know for me, so often when I feel irritated or scared or upset, or it doesn't take that much for me to just spend a few minutes contemplating, what if I didn't have any of what I have right now? And I really felt scared and I really felt there's a real reason for it. Go ahead and take a deep breath in, long exhale, and hold the exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Another deep inhale, exhale, and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, open your eyes, come on back. Um, yeah, just leaving you with this parting thought. None of this is intended to in any way diminish struggles or suffering or hardship or pain that we're experiencing. It's intended, hopefully, as a way to just be able to take a step back and calibrate or find some perspective on what's going on right now in this present moment, and see if we can find just a little bit of relief by feeling some gratitude. So hope that was helpful. I'll hang out for a few more minutes and hope to see you tomorrow.